Hello everyone, anyone who come across this video. I am Nicole. This is my channel, Ruby Slippers Van Life. I live in my van. Anybody that watch my old videos know I just kitted out my car as well, but I live in my van. My car is just gonna be like, easy quick stuff that I might want to do, and I don't want to drag the van. Plus I actually need to put the van in the shop. That's why I didn't really go too far in the winter, because I could have took my son with me, so that's not an issue. But anyway, I am here for a story time. A few people suggested that I should tell another story time, and I got a whole heap of stories to tell. But tonight, while I was sitting in the fan, I said, let me do a story time. So this story time is the time I got arrested for porn tape. So let me just start back and be honest. I don't know why, or maybe I do know why, but that's another whole issue. But I was interested in adult film and magazines at a young age. So actually, even at 12, I got caught with a tape that I stole from my uncle. Hey, Uncle Jerome. Anyway, that tape, I was at his house. I don't even remember how I knew it was an adult tape. Maybe it had some X's on it. I don't know. But I took the tape home. Everybody was sleeping in the house. And back then, big floor model TV on the floor. VHS tape. So I was watching the tape and fell asleep. And back then the VHS tape, once it go to the end, it'll just start right back to the beginning. So I fell asleep. My mom and them came down in the morning, nothing but naked people all on the screen. And they pulled the tape out and it say my uncle name on the tape. So I was busted then. So now let's go on forward to explaining how I got arrested for one. All right. I think I was probably about 19. Yeah, I had to be 19 because I had just started at the state hospital. And so had my little car and everything. And my friend of mine at the time was staying at a hotel on Route 1, which is one of our major highways. So she I had got paid and everything, and it was like I was supposed to go pick her up. We was going to go out and hang out, get something to eat, drink, whatever. We was just going to go hang out. So I go up to the highway to pick her up at the hotel. When I get there and pick her up, she gets in the car, and we talking and everything, laughing, and we pull off and go around. Now to go back into town, we had to get back on the highway going southbound. So we going southbound, and as we getting ready to pass the hotel, she like, oh, I left my wallet in there, my money, my car, everything is in there. I'ma need that. She like, just pull over right here and I'll go across the highway and get it. I was like, okay, and pulled over on the side of the highway. So she goes across the barrier and everything, runs over to the hotel. I'm sitting in the car. So now, as I see her coming back, the police pull up behind me. I'm like, ugh. So they get out the car and they like, what's going on? Why you here? So I explained to him, I actually lied. I was like, well, my car started getting hot, so I pulled over, and my friend ran over there to go call to my house so that, somebody can come help me. So then he was like, oh, so now Camellia coming back across the highway. Hey, Camellia girl. Camellia coming back across the highway, and she just standing there. So now the cop is talking to me and everything. Mind you, back then, we didn't have cell phones. I think the most we had was little pagers. But, so it made sense that she would have to go across the highway to call me, go to the hotel room and make a call. So he didn't question that. But he license, registration, I gave him everything because I know my stuff is legit. I give him all my stuff, I'm sitting there. He comes back to the car. Could you step out the vehicle? I'm like, Okay, I step out the vehicle. He's like, you need to turn around. You're under arrest. I was like, for what? He was like, there's a warrant for your arrest in Trenton. I was like, for what? And he's like, well, we don't know. It's just theft. Now I'm like, theft? So I'm like, I ain't steal nothing. I ain't got no weapon. No, let me stop. Anyway, I was like, I didn't steal nothing. This is what I'm thinking in my mind. So the officer is just like, well, you have to take that up with Trent. I don't know what's going on, but they have a warrant for your arrest for theft. And we're going to take you to Lawrenceville. Because this was like the next city over. The next city over. It's not like 5 minutes from where I live, but it was still in the next city. So he's like, we're going to take you to Lawrence and then wait for them to pick you up. So I'm getting expedited and everything, y'all. Expedited and everything. So I go, I'm handcuffed. One good thing, the officer, he let Camille, because she had license, so he let her take my car. So they didn't tow my car and everything, but they arrested my ass and took me to the police station. I'm sitting in Lawrence for about an hour maybe. It didn't make any sense. I couldn't call anybody, nobody come get me, because I had to go to where the warrant was at. Well, I'm still handcuffed. I had to go where the warrant was at. So I'm sitting in there. They come get me. They take me to Trenton Police Station. So I'm sitting there, and they like, yeah, you know. I'm like, officers, what is this? Hold up, man. We'll find out. Right now, just sit right there. So they cuffed me to the bench. I'm sitting there. So then the officer is like, okay, well, you have $100 bill and you have theft for VHS tape. So I'm like, VHS tape? He like, yeah, such store on Hermitage Avenue. So I'm like, that store closed down like months ago, but I still had the tape. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm sitting there. They about to take me and really book me, y'all. Like, in the back, squat, the whole stuff, go to the cell. But at the time, I'm sitting there because they was doing change of shift. And that is why I had to wait to find out even why I was being charged with theft. So it was change of shift. And another blessing, the guy that lives across from me is a police officer. So he happened to be coming in on duty, and he looking like, what you doing here? I don't know. They said I got theft charge for a tape. And I was like, and that place closed down. I didn't know where to take the tape, blah, blah, blah. So we talking. He like, what? So then he was like, so your people come? I'm like, yeah, they told me my bail is 100. My mom and them coming down. So then he like, all right, hold up. So then he goes over there. He like, nah, man, blah, blah, blah. So he telling them, just let me sit there, that my people coming. So I never made it to the back to squat, cough, go to the cell or none of that. I was just sat there and watched everything till my mom and them came, which was another hour. So they came, bailed me out. I had court the next morning. That's how things worked back then. You get a charge. If it wasn't a weekend, you pay your bail, you go to court that very next morning. Now, I don't know. You go to court months later. Who knows? But anyway, that very next morning, I go to court. I made sure I had that tape with me. Because another thing is, I'm borderline hoarder. So I know I had that tape at my house. I don't throw away nothing. So I went, dug through, found the tape. Which I hadn't watched it, y'all. I did not just steal this tape and try to keep this tape. I didn't even watch it. Forgot all about the tape. Anyway, go to court the next morning. I'm in court. It's so crowded. Like, why is it so crowded this day? I mean, crowded. Like, some people were standing in the hall. Anyway, I'm sitting there waiting, and I'm kind of hoping that I go a little bit last, because normally I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then I finally get called. No, I'm like the third person called. I'm like the third person called with a courtroom full of people. So, call my name, I go up there, and I'm standing there. So here go the judge. Yeah, Nicole, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're here today. You're being charged with theft of the VHS tape, Big City Sex. I'm standing there. I could see people from my peripheral vision, like, looking. The stenographer, she looked up. It was like she didn't pay no attention to me the whole time I stood up there. But it was like once he said big city sex, it was like she looked up. Honey, I was embarrassed a little bit, but at the same time, I wanted to let that judge know I did not steal this tape. So I said, yes, Your Honor, I have the tape right here. I did have the tape for a while, and when I went back to return the tape, the store was closed down. I had no information on where to return it to, who to send it to, so I just had the tape at my house. But I never had no intention on stealing this tape. So then I'm just standing there looking, and he just looking at me. Everybody, you can hear a mouse piss on cotton. That's how quiet it was in there, just dead quiet. So then he looks at his paperwork, he's shuffling. I think he was trying not to laugh, but he's shuffling and shuffling through his papers. So then he said, and the record reflect that the defendant does have the tape in her possession. Then he gonna say it again, big city sex. Everybody, I could hear a little bit of snickering in the background. He was like, you know, a whole bunch of other stuff. So then the charges that was dropped. I gave him the tape. The bailiff came, got the tape. He took the tape, and I ended up leaving. Now, let me tell you, I found out from my neighbor why I had that theft charge. The guy who owned the video store was a police officer. And when the video store closed down, in order for him to get, I guess, reparation from the business or whatever through insurance, he had to report all these different tapes or whatever that was never returned, and he had to report them as theft. But I was just like, this is a mess. Out of all this stuff, I'm getting arrested for a porn tape. Well, I'm whispering. For an adult tape. So yeah, y'all, that was the time I got arrested behind an adult movie. Do I still watch adult movies? Yeah, I do. But I ain't getting arrested for none. Anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I appreciate everyone who's been still rocking with me from the beginning. The new people. I love y'all. I thank y'all very much.